Welcome. This is the week 2 live session for our class. And I think I'm back with you. Just a couple of housekeeping things. I'm going to share my desktop so you can see what I'm looking at. And let me know when you see it, my desktop, please. It might say loading or something like that.
Mine says loading right now.
Yeah, okay. Shouldn't.
There it is.
Okay, great. Angel,
Yeah.
you see my desktop?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. There's not much on it now. But in any case, I wanted to show you this button down here, which is an IM, Instant Messenger Conversations. And if you wanted to post something, you can, like good evening or whatever. And some people have difficulty getting in, and sometimes all they can do is post a note. So, and for whatever reason, I don't know. My computer is still not doing everything I need it to do. Regardless, there it is, my note. Regardless, we're going to move on. All right. Let me bring up my classroom because, yeah, great. Good. Thank you for your notes. I want to make sure that we address the questions. And Angel, as it turns out, part of my PowerPoint presentation does include the very question that you asked, and so I want to be sure and bring up my PowerPoint. Where is my PowerPoint? Where's my PowerPoint? I see there it is. So I want to go through the PowerPoint presentation, and it'll definitely get to the point where you ask questions about the assignment, Angel. But I want to get going with it if I can, with you ladies. So, welcome, welcome. Here's what we do tonight. Taking roll is not really what I do, but you have an assignment question, Angel. And Catherine, I want to ask you if you have any questions. You can wait to the assignment overview, or you can ask it now about, the classroom or how things are going, or if you can't find something, or if technical support's not helping you, whatever. Do you have any concerns right off the bat, Catherine?
No, I've been good so far.
Okay, great. Well, let's move on. Who's that goofy guy? Okay. So I think it's just us three so far. Yes, it's still us three, and if it stays just us three, that's fine. Not everybody is available all the time. So that was for general questions, which you've already gone to. Wanted to talk a little bit about the objective for week 2, which is analyze the fundamentals of the planning process. And this has to do with some of the things you've no doubt read about if you've done your readings. That would be like levels of planning. You've got, and that, I mean, time horizons. Some plans, strategic plans, can go out several years. I had read quite a while ago, that Toyota, for instance, goes out 50 years, and obviously that 50-year plan is not very specific because no one knows the state of the future out that far. But that is kind of a time horizon of planning. Strategic plans typically are 3 to 5 to 7 years, somewhere in there. And then we talked about, or not didn't talk about, the reading discusses tactical plans, which are closer in, and then operational plans, which are like next week. And then the reading talks about the folks who do the level of planning. Usually it's higher end folks that do strategic planning, CEOs, CFOs, and senior staff. And I think that's fine because they have the time and usually the expertise to do it. But I like the idea of including people in strategic planning who actually will be responsible for doing some of the grunt work. Not everybody can be involved in a strategic plan unless it's a small business. But it's nice to have some representation from different levels of the organization. That's more my recommendation than anything else. Did you ladies have any questions or comments about, the fundamentals of the planning process or about our week 2 focus and objective? I don't have, like a formal lecture prepared. That's not what live sessions are for. But I might make a few points as we go through it. Somebody else is with us. It's Gregory. Glad to see you, Gregory. Welcome. And you can unmute your mic if you want to say hello.
Oh, I didn't even know it was muted. Hello, everybody.
Glad to have you with us. Okay, we're talking about the week 2 assignment now, which is the management planning worksheet. And I'm going to go to the assignment instructions. Just give me a minute while I get there, because Angel had a specific question about it. And I wanted to bring up this management planning worksheet, which is what you will be submitting. Gregory, I had a real difficult time starting the live session today, just so you know, because my computer decided to do an automatic update. And so it's not operating like I wish it would. But I'm trying to muddle through, so if it takes a while,
Okay.
It's learning how to do things that it used to do quite well before, but neither here nor there. I have an HP computer, just so you know, and I think when it doesn't work anymore, when I get fed up with it and throw it out the window, I'm going with a Mac. Any of you have a Mac, by the way? Just curious.
I do not have a Mac, no.
Okay. Well, here is the sheet. And Angel, would you please reiterate your question, because you asked it about 15 minutes ago, as it turns out.
I don't remember exactly what I said in my question, because I think I was just trying to muddle through myself. But so mission, vision, totally fine with. But like, how specific do we need to talk about? Like in question 2 right there where it says, briefly describe the strategic, tactical, and operational plans. Like, how in depth do we need to get with that? Because I'm finding a hard time finding the exact strategic plan for my organization.
Okay. Well, so you've got a word count up here that says 175 words, and that's the aggregate here. So it's not like this block has to be 175 and this block has to be 175. Are you with me?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay. So this is going to be pretty brief. And it may be that you choose an organization that doesn't have much of an operational plan, for example, where there's not a whole lot you can say then. But this tries to get at what I was talking about when I was discussing the planning objectives, the plans and what that plan might entail. For instance, if you were to work for a city department, say the department, a police department, okay, you're going to talk about a municipal police department plan, strategic plan. So here, this is going to be strategic, likely the way that I would organize it, and not strictly mandatory. But I would do strategic plan in that block, I do tactical, and then operational down here. And when you describe it, you're going to say something like, this is the police department for the city of Ron Baker plan. And it discusses performance objectives and measures, and the police chief has delegated the responsibility for maintenance and updated the plan to the deputy police chief or something like that. It doesn't have to be real long. And then the type of manager, deputy police chief, CFO, whatever it is, that type of thing. Am I making sense? Is that helpful?
That is helpful. I think my struggle sometimes is I can either be a little too broad or a little too specific. So sometimes I just need to reel it in a little bit. So I appreciate it.
Sure. Well, in this assignment, I'm trying to make sure that you have an appreciation for different planning horizons, that is timelines, time horizons, and different planning levels. Who in the organization does what kind of planning? And then a little bit about the plans. Not really much else. Okay. In 200 words, the company's success in executing one of the 3 core processes of business. So this is more from your reading, people, strategy, and operations. The word count again is aggregate, so 200 words. And so you'll talk about people, you'll talk about strategy, you'll talk about operations, because those are part of every business and just about every organization. Can't think of an exception. Okay, in this section, we're looking at a SWOT analysis. And for an MBA, you just have to know not only what a SWOT analysis is, but how to do it. And I think in this class, you're doing some here. You're going to see this SWOT analysis business multiple times in your MBA program for different classes. So you get your feet wet with this. Now, has any of you done any SWOT analysis for any organization that you belong to? No? Well, you get your chance with this. Pay attention to the word count. That is important. And here we're looking at internal analysis, or inside matters, which is strengths and weaknesses of the organization. And then external, let's see, and I don't mean to go up and down so fast, but I want to make sure that total of at least 350 words. So this doesn't have to be a lot of detail, but it's more detail than the others. Okay, and then the external analysis, or outside matters, opportunities that the organization has in your estimation or in their plans, and then threats that they might face. Typically that's regulation or competition or something like that. I don't know what this is, but I wish it would go away. Anyway, does that clear up anything, or is that helpful to you in doing the assignment? Are there any questions, further questions about the assignment? Okay, good. Then I'll move on with my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, Ron, where is it? Well, let me go find it. There we go. I wanted to talk just a little bit in my live sessions, just so you get a little flavor for what's coming up. Not that you have to do anything this week about your week 3 assignment, but I found it in prior classes helpful to just mention that week 3 or the future week assignment, so you see what you might be faced with. And that's what I'm doing here. So let's go over to week 3, look at that assignment. Organizational culture and design. This is a very interesting case study. It's for a company called IDEO, and their culture is one of helping behavior. You know, in a lot of organizations, people might be, and I'm not saying they are, but they might be reluctant to help one another, because if you help somebody who might be promoted over you, then you're helping them get more money, and you're not, you know, you're going to stay back. Their culture is much different than that. they value the helping, and the people who get promoted are those who are the biggest helpers. In fact, the CEO helps blind people from time to time. Well, read the case, and that's what it's about. And then if you look down here, here's kind of where we're going with that. The idea is to apply some of those cultural aspects of IDEO Corporation to your organization or one that you choose, to see whether or not it fits and how you might implement some of that helping behavior style in your organization or the organization you choose. Well, that's really all I want to say about it. I wouldn't expect you to have questions about it, and if you do, I'll be glad to talk about it. But I just wanted to give you that preview. Okay, that is really it. And so that's all I've got for now. I want to turn off my sharing so I can, well, nobody's showing but me. And it's not necessary. You don't have to do your video feed. That's fine. But do you have any questions or comments that I can help you with? Is there something that you would find helpful in a live session that you'd like me to do in future sessions? Well, you don't have to answer now. If you come up with an idea, you know, we're live now, but I am in class every day, multiple times a day, and if you have a question, I'm going to answer it as soon as I see it and I'm able to. But anyway, that's, well, let's see, I have Adele. Let's see, I'm going over to my notes here. Okay, good. No questions, I'll explain well. Okay, cool. All right, well, I schedule these for an hour, but it depends on the questions and, what you guys are puzzled about, that sort of thing. But I'm not going to take up any more of your time than is necessary. And it looks like we're done for now. And so I thank you for participating. Oh, Angel, did you have something to say?
No, I was just going to say have a good evening.
Well, I wish you all a very good evening. And as I mentioned, you'll see a link, a YouTube link for the recording of this live session in the classroom. And I'll put a question with it. If you three participated, but folks who watch our live recording and who respond to my question, it's going to be about planning, will receive half credit for week 2 participation, so 2 out of 4 points. Okay? So you guys have the edge. Make use of it. So I'll be posting that question probably by tomorrow sometime. So look for it in the classroom. All right. I wish you all a good evening and thank you for attending. I'm going to stop the recording now.